Hey everyone, it is mm, kind of a crazy day, I must say. I got my test results back. For some of you who follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me go in where they put the test. It's like gosh, it feels almost like it is a brush. Like think of something where you put in a bottle brush and they shove this thing up your nose about 3 inches all the way to your brain, and it feels like it's actually like in your brain, and then they do the other side. But I have to tell you, I have been feeling really awful, as most of you, well, many of you probably know. Throughout the week I've been trying to do my I actually have a free class going on right now for women, and it's been like what's keeping me going. But I did get a very big shocker news today. I really did. Woke up and it's been about 6 days, I guess, since I haven't started feeling well. My husband, Eric, I call E, has been totally fine. So this morning I woke up, I'm like, I must be completely like great. I must just have a really bad case of the flu that's just kind of hanging on. And then I got the call that my results are yes, indeed, I do have COVID-19. I just thought it would be interesting to hear it from somebody who I think I'm like around number 40 in San Francisco. I actually talked to the SF Department of Public Health. Amy Dubois called me. Unbelievably great gal. But I wanted to kind of walk you through the progression of this so that my attitude is know what you don't know, so that you have the confidence that when if this does happen to you or somebody in your family, you're like, you got this. And the way I look at it is, you know what? This is a major relaunch for all of us. Whether you get it, whether a family member gets it, this is big. This is like, I think about the relaunches, the transitions I've been through with divorce and with losing my mom in the fall to cancer, and, putting my house on the market after, 25 years of living there, and kids going off to college, and then having to bring them back because of COVID. It's an insane time, and we all have been through so many relaunches. But this one is honestly like nothing anyone has ever seen. In San Francisco, which is where I am, this is a city that has been completely like kind of on the lockdown for since Monday. I want to say Monday night. And so I look out right now and barely anybody is on the streets, the cars. I see the traffic coming in the morning on the bridge. There's nobody out there. But the way that this started for me is so unique because it defies every single thing that it says COVID, the coronavirus, is not. I started with a runny nose. I had a bunch of sneezing, and I had kind of this wet cough. I mean, literally. Like, if you look at Corona and what it's not supposed to be, that's what I have. So it started. We went to. I mean, it could have been anywhere. It could have been on a plane that I was on. It could have been, somebody that I was in contact with. We were in Aspen last weekend. Who knows? And that's the key here, is that you don't know. You don't know where you get this. I mean, yesterday you could have been near me in the store and not even realize, heck, I didn't know I had it, right? So you go down to the store, you quickly buy something, and you come back up. So sorry about my nose here. But anyway, so what happened was I started to get the chills Tuesday, feverish. I didn't have that high fever. I had kind of a 100.3, I think was my average fever, um, or temperature, and it ended up just staying for a few days. I went through these major sweats, then I wouldn't, and then it went into my chest, and I had major laryngitis. Couldn't even speak, and it would come and go. You can tell it's still pretty raspy. My left my left lymph node was killing me. It was so sore. My throat during this whole time has been really sore. Right now, it's not sore at all. But it really just knocks you out. And I did go get tested, and what was really super interesting is that I got tested because I was really wanting to see my dad, who's 85, my stepmom, 78. I didn't want to be around them if there was any chance. Again, we all have to take ownership of this. As much as you want to see people in your life, you just don't know if you're a carrier. And again, I mention this because E doesn't have anything going on with him, but he could be a carrier, just like your kids could be a carrier, and they seem totally fine. So anyway, I did go in and got, I have the greatest doctor. Shout out to Dr. Humphrey and his staff in Danville, California. And he gave me the test, and then he said, perhaps you should right now also take like a flu test or a flu swab. So we did the first one for COVID, and then he tested me for the flu. And it was really interesting. He looked at me and he said, negative for the flu. And we both kind of had that look like, why do I have all these symptoms that are flu-like? Anyway, it was one of those looks, those looks, not the good kind of look. So we waited, and they said originally it was going to be 4 days. They did call me, as I said this morning, and they are, the doctors, the people in, the area in Contra Costa County and San Francisco County, they are on it. They are watching this. They knew exactly where I lived. They, wanted to know who I was with, who I've had contact with. Now, the good news is that because we've taken this so seriously in San Francisco, I haven't been with anybody. And so now I want to talk to you about E. And he is most likely asymptomatic, and we'll know here over the next couple days. But there are those people that will not get sick. They just will never get it. You don't know why. But the thing that I wanted to make sure that, hindsight's 2020 and what you can do, what you can't do. The thing that I want to make sure all of you are doing right now is getting yourself as healthy as you possibly can right now if you don't have any signs. Get yourself to the point, because I'm a healthy person and this thing has kicked my ass. And what does that mean? It means like start eating really well. I've gotten numerous people who have told me, start doing D3 with K. With K, it's got to have that K component. Start taking lots of vitamins. Start, if you can't, obviously you can't go to the gym right now, but get yourself active. I talk about the 7-minute workout. Do anything to kind of get you as healthy so that you can combat this in a really, really great way. They have already said sugar is just so bad for you. And I have to tell you, I know this firsthand with my mom and her battle with cancer and what she had to, I wish she just had given up even more, but, don't feed the monsters. And these things are just fueled by, the processed sugar. So whatever you can do, avoid that. So now what am I on? What am I doing? So what they've given me now is something called hydrochloroquine. I might be saying it wrong. Hydrochloroquine. It's otherwise generic for Plaquenil. Actually, it is generic for Plaquenil. And this is something that hopefully will help kind of get me through this a little faster. And then also, the thing that's the hardest is that when the cough starts, it is painful, and it feels like there's this like brick on your chest. It's like 3 pounds, and it just is like, oh, you just like, no, I don't want to cough. And so they did give me some nighttime cold cough, I guess, with codeine or something in here that's going to hopefully make me sleep so I don't make that terrible, like, oh, and it's just so painful. But it goes back to, you can only control what you can control. And there's so many uncontrollables right now in the world. So when I sit here and I say that, yet this is another relaunch, there is a positive that I have seen, and I have to tell you, as I have had to calm myself way down, and I am a go getter. Like, I'm out there, I'm doing things, I'm always moving, and I haven't been. I've had to just like sit and look out the window and chill and take care of myself, not even knowing that I had the coronavirus. But one thing that I've seen, and one thing I did see that was just so beautiful, is that when I was driving to get my test, the thing I noticed the most is how many families were outside together. How many like families were out there doing things together. And the nicest things, when people are DMing me and telling me on the relaunch page and the relaunch co that they are playing board games for the first time. I've heard of bonfires, that families have never done bonfires ever. These folks that have, kids in town that they didn't think were going to be back because they were supposed to be off at school are now around. I'm devastated right now because I saw my kids on Monday night, and now I'm quarantined from them because they went back to their dad's house because we were having this massive, shutdown of the city. And it's tough, but I know it is so important for me to just buckle down, button down. Oh my God, I feel like my mom right now, who always said the wrong little lines, but I think it's button down the hatch. Button down the hatch, and this is really the time. And for those of you who are, or who know people, or who by themselves during this time, and they're self, containing themselves, quarantining themselves, they're in a city that's shut down. Please, please, please be, you know, be thoughtful. Show acts of kindness, because they're the ones that, it's lonely. It is lonely to be by yourself during this time. And reach out. Reach out to them, and FaceTime them and connect. Connect with people that you haven't in a while. Make it, every morning you're going to talk to 3 people before you even start to do any of the other things in your life. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you found this helpful. Again, I have been incredibly impressed with the amount of people that have contacted me from the city, from my health, experts. They're really trying to be on top of this, but they need us. They need us to actively monitor ourselves and follow direction, because we want to contain this as soon as possible. I'm sitting here right now looking out at the ship, the Princess Cruise, that's sitting out there, because the people that were working it are still on there, and they're talking about using it for, beds in case it gets worse. But let's not let that happen. Let's not. Let's just take it into our own hands to say, if we all just button down the hatch, okay? So if anything else comes up, I will definitely let you know, and I wish you all good health, because that is really what it's all about. That is the only thing that really matters. So I will look forward to coming to you again soon. Mwah. Take care. Virtual hug, virtual kiss.